Hi, this is George Hahn on Tuesday, June 4th, 2013. This past weekend I went to my 20th college reunion from Boston College. I graduated from BC in 1993, and with one brief exception with some friends many years ago, I had not really been back to the campus and really walked around and explored since I graduated 20 years ago. And I'd never been to a reunion. I didn't go to the 5, I didn't go to the 10, but this year I decided to go. And none of my immediate roommates were planning on going, so I kind of went on my own. I was a little nervous, I have to admit, but I was in touch with some of my classmates leading up to the reunion, so I was looking forward to seeing them, and I got to see them and many more people. Reunions are funny because, or at least this is what I experienced. I looked around when I went to the events between Friday night and Saturday night and saw none of the faces I saw were unfamiliar because we had spent so much time together over the 4 years in our dorms, at dining halls, in classes, at events, parties, on the Dust Bowl, looking at each other. So nobody was unfamiliar, but I'm glad we got to have name tags. That was helpful. But it was so good to see everybody, I gotta say. I have a very weird relationship with my college life. Two very pivotal events in my life happened when I was in college. The first one being when my father died when I was a freshman, and the second one being when I came out of the closet junior year, which I did in a letter to the editor of the school paper, The Heights, essentially coming out to a reading audience of all the undergrads and faculty and staff or anybody else who read it. But particularly meaningful to me this weekend, in addition to seeing everybody and reconnecting, was revisiting my freshman dorm where I was living when Dad died. And it conjured up a lot of, that was the one parents' weekend where I got to be with my dad. I was living there when I did my very first play ever, which he snuck down, unbeknownst to me, snuck up from a business trip in New York City to come see me perform in on opening night. I didn't know he was coming. And then he died. And, aside from my immediate roommate, Joe, who saved my life, that dorm, that building, Fenwick Hall, was like a lifeboat to me. And the people who were in it, many of whom I got to see this weekend, were stewards on that ship. And they saved my life, really. Kept me alive. And so it was great to touch base with that and the people associated with it. And then I got to visit the Rob Sham Theater, where I did a lot of work. In that building, it was decided for myself that I was going to become an actor after graduating and pursue that career. And that's where I did a play called The Normal Heart by Larry Kramer, which led to my coming out of the closet. And all of the people associated with it, it was the people I was thinking about. And these events, when I visited school 20 years later and saw people I hadn't seen in 20 years, or at least in a long time, made me really think about how that place and those people and the events that happened there or while I was there helped shape the person I am today, And I was really caught off guard this weekend by how powerful that experience was. And I had dinner with a couple of classmates, a few classmates on Saturday night before the big class of 93 event, and someone asked the question, if you could change anything about Boston, your experience at Boston College, what would it be? And my answer was, I decided to move off campus and live by myself freshman year. I kind of gave myself a post coming out of the closet exile. Not because anybody shunned me, although coming out of the closet does teach you who your friends are, because some people did fall away. But the important ones didn't. And they never turned me away. I think I kind of turned them away. And I decided to live by myself, like I said, senior year in a studio off campus. And I went to revisit that apartment this weekend, and my memory of it was not a happy one. I didn't have a lot of happiness associated with that place. And, I had great friends. I had a lot of allies, and Boston College for me was, despite a tumultuous time personally during that little period, that was really for myself and not associated with the people in my life. And like I said, it was wonderful to reconnect with them, and that's the one thing I would have changed. But it's a moot point because it is what it is. And going back to school and seeing these guys and girls, these men and women, was a powerful experience. I loved them, and I still love them, these people. And it was great to see them, and I can't wait for the 25th reunion now. I wish it were next weekend. So I feel great that I had gone. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And if you're in college now and watching this, treasure it. Treasure it, no matter what. Thanks.